What if you could create more kindness in the world just by being you? Everyone has the potential to create and receive more kindness. What if kindness is more than being nice and compassionate to others? Have you ever considered what having more kindness for you could create in your life? Get ready to learn how the energy of kindness is integral to reducing stress in your life and how it can assist in healing your body. Now, here is the host of Cultivating Kindness with Karen, facilitator of healing, Karen Leslie.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy you're here with me today. We have another Wednesday together. And as my producer was just saying, I know you love Wednesdays, and I really do. There's just something about the day, middle of the week, which also has some positive energies for me. And really, it's just showing up, being here for you, being here for myself, and for all of you that will be listening on the replays. Like, thank you so much. We have a fun show. Not in here. I'm going to say that, but that's not exactly what they want me to tell you. Hold on just a second. Boy, they're being very pushy right out of the gate here today. That's so funny. Heartwarming, important. Wow, even transformative show for you today. Holy moly. Okay, so let's see what I end up saying to all of you. No pressure here, Karen. Last week, we had a great time together, and we were talking about how I work with angels. And it was really fun. It was a little bit different than what I normally, bring to Cultivating Kindness with Karen. And I really enjoyed it. And hopefully you did too. I know a lot of you have watched it. And so thank you very much. And it brought to mind, because I didn't have a show planned actually for this week at that time, um, to bring to you a story, about a Rottweiler, a big male Rottweiler, a gorgeous animal, and his name was Angel. This isn't something I was planning on sharing on my show. I mentioned it to one of my sister-in-laws actually a couple of months ago, because she's got a big dog, and we were just kind of talking about dogs and animals in general, and the story around Angel came up. And so she was like, you really should put that on your show. And I was like, I don't know. We'll see. And I hadn't planned on really doing anything with it. However, things change, right? Going with the flow, following the energies, and somewhere, somebody asked to learn more about working with animals, angels maybe as well, and an animal named Angel. So here we are. Angel was an extraordinarily beautiful soul that was residing in this great, big, strong, fun-loving dog's body. This was a number of years ago that I met Angel, and I'm trying to actually think, I should have thought about this earlier as to how long it's been. It would be, gosh, I would have met Angel over 15 years ago, I think, or possibly longer. And I started to work with Angel, I believe it was around 2012. Pretty sure it was, nope, sorry, that's incorrect. It was closer to 2008. Yes. Yeah. Maybe even late 2007. So somewhere around there. So it's been a while. The whole way this came about was my husband and I were friends with Angel's owner, and spent a lot of time with Angel outside in different ways and everything. And then Angel became quite sick and terminally ill, and given a very short period of time. It was a real shock. Like, it was so sudden that all of a sudden, his behavior changed. He became unwell, and then a diagnosis came in very quickly. And he only had, I think it was 3 months to live. So, my girlfriend said, can you do something? because she knew I worked with energy. And I really hesitated. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. Um, but I said yes. I said, I don't know what I can do. I was very honest. I said, from my understanding, the information I'm getting, I can't reverse what has happened. And she said, I don't care. Can you just make him more comfortable? And I said, that I know I can do. So I started a journey on working with this beautiful animal 3 times a week for I don't know how many weeks, a long time, months and months, well past 3 months. And I would like to share with you, the process, a little bit of what I did with working with this particular dog. I've worked on other dogs since then, and what I learned. And this is really what I want to bring to you is the lessons that Angel taught me. And there's a cute little feisty, fun cat in the house as well. And I've just lost his name. We'll see if it comes back as we go along through the show. Anyways, he taught me a lot as well. Animals are amazing teachers. They really are. You know, young children are amazing teachers as well. And animals, they have a special gift this way. And you've heard me say, if you've listened to shows, energy is the language of animals. Just like us, when we arrive, our first language is energy. And then animals also learn to understand the spoken word in any language that their owners speak to them, which is brilliant and amazing. So I entered into a journey I was not expecting from the perspective of the changes that it would give to me. Did I have a desire to help this beautiful animal? Yes, of course I did. However, doubt, oh my gosh, doubt was really rising up inside me. Judgments of myself, because I hadn't done anything to this point before. Fear of failure was there. Fear of letting my friend down and not being able to help this animal that she loved so much. Some previous experience with working with one of our own dogs. We have had over the years a few Siberian Huskies, and one in particular, they were all rescues, and one in particular, when he got older, he just refused to let me work on him. Like, just out and out refused. And I spoke to an animal communicator and like, what's with this? And it was because his role in our house was for him to take care of me. And so, unfortunately, he didn't accept the healing that I was offering to him. And I would play with it. Oh my gosh. I used a pendulum a lot more back then than I do now. And I would try and get my pendulum because he wouldn't let my hands come near him. So I tried to have my pendulum out to the side and far away from him. And I'd slowly bring it in closer and closer to him. And then at one point, he would just look at me, look right in the eyes, and get up and walk away. And I was like, seriously, dude, like, I'm trying to help you here. Anyways, what that did, though, is it made me more self-conscious and brought in more doubt, lowered my confidence level with working with another dog. And so, I mean, that could be a whole other story as to what Chinook taught me. That was our husky. But it did bring me into the space of thinking, how am I going to be able to help this animal when I wasn't able to help mine? And so it was a challenge. So I had to overcome a lot of barriers that I had put in my way. Now, to top it off, I'm highly allergic to cats, and there was going to be a cat in the house every time I was there. I mean, he lived there. He was primarily an indoor cat, so I was quite allergic to the house in general. And I was determined to not let that stop me from going in and working with Angel, as I say, 3 times a week. I went in every other day, not so much on the weekends, but I was there at least Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Preparing yourself to work with animals is really important. They speak energy. And even though Angel knew me, so there was no problem walking into the house, just opening the door and entering, because he knew who I was, so I would be allowed or permitted to go into the home. So there was no safety concerns that way. But he would also read my energy. So how was I going to choose to show up? Dogs know when you're anxious. I've taken some trainings with some amazing animal trainers that are graduates from Cesar Millan's School of Dog Psychology. And, you know, they say the same thing. They speak the same way about dogs as I speak about people because we both talk about energy. You know, if you're anxious and you're saying you've got an anxious dog, guess what the dog's picking up on and reflecting? They're great mirrors. So it was important to me to not go into the home being anxious or fearful, worried in any way. And if you saw the show on worry a few weeks ago, you know, that worry energy is one that's filled with fear. So to approach an animal that you wish to help to heal, whether it's a dog or a horse or a cat or a goat, it doesn't matter. That presence that you walk into, or even that before you even walk into the house, is you're going up the driveway. I mean, animals pick up energy from great distances. You need to be spot on without focusing on it too much. And I hope that makes a little bit of sense to you. So I had work to do quickly to get myself ready because I was starting in 2 days. Preparing to walk in and be in that space, being calm, being centered. And I didn't know about ways of kindness back then. If I did, I would have definitely have been using ways of kindness. But I think I just developed my own way of being that energy. Well, not I think, I know I did, because I know the success that I had. So if you're walking down a street and you're noticing a dog's behavior that may not be ideal, because not all dogs are well trained and they don't all walk well on a leash, and there's all kinds of things going on, it's to your advantage to be calm, to be grounded, to be alert. And here's the thing you really need to do. Do not look at that dog. Ignore the dog. Walk straight by. Do not make eye contact. Do not say hello. Ignore the dog. And things will be as optimal as they can be. Now, walking into Angel's home, that is not the choice I made. Coming in calm and neutral, yes, those choices I definitely made. I announced myself when I walked in. I called out Angel by name, and the cat too, which crazy, I can't remember his name right now, to let them know I was there. And then to enter in that presence of kindness, of open-heartedness to help, and total respect for any boundaries that Angel was going to show me. So I was not forcing healing on Angel. I was not pushing my energy on Angel. I was there solely to offer, if the choice is being made by this animal, to receive. Now imagine walking in being worried, full of doubt, having a little fear, all of those things. How do you think the animal would respond? You know, you can see people that work with horses, they have a presence about them when they approach the horse. They understand this. And then you see somebody that doesn't, you know, maybe not as comfortable with a horse or whatever, and the way they approach the animal could be very different, and the response from the animal can be night and day. Now, the animals can be calmed quite quickly, especially when their owner, their handler, or whomever is there with them to do so, because they speak the energy, they speak the language, they speak the frequencies that the animal requires to know that everything is okay. This was lesson one for me to understand that when trying to work with my own dog and, him just getting up and walking away, I really didn't understand that fully, but I got it very quickly so that I could be that calm, kind, healing energy that I wanted to gift towards this Rottweiler called Angel. Now, when we come back from our break, I'm going to get into some of the how-tos, what I did, the progress we made, and the lessons from the cat, because they are really funny, and whatever else pops up. So we'll be back just in a moment. Thank you so much for being here on the Inspired Choices Network. It is a great place to hang out, and I love that you come and join me every Wednesday here at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so we can spend some time together and share new ideas. I can bring to you new concepts and new ways of looking at things. And maybe today, I don't know, maybe you'll pick up some little bits that will help you just even being in your own home with your pet, whatever it might be, dog, cat, bird, fish, it doesn't matter. Energy is their first language. And so by hearing the different things I'm sharing with you, you can improve your communication and your ability to be with that special animal that's in your home too. All right, we'll be back in just a moment, everyone. Don't go away, and we'll carry on learning more about Angel when we get back.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everybody. All right, so we're talking about energy work and animals, and a Rottweiler named Angel in particular. Anybody, everybody can work with energy, and you can do so in, oh my goodness, so many different ways. We could run a whole series of shows on different ways, but we can all do it, and you can do it very, very simply. It doesn't need to be fancy. It's key for you to enter into anytime you want to work with energy, to do so without an agenda, from that space of kindness and compassion, without an agenda, right? We can go into compassion and desire to help, and then we all of a sudden go into, because I want this outcome. Well, no. One word, no. Be present, be in that energetic space of openness. And so you have awareness to respond to what you may become aware of, but do not go into it with your own personal agenda or take in an agenda of another person. Now, my friend, she wanted her dog to be more comfortable in the last couple of months of his life. That was the goal or the agenda. I needed to leave that at the door when I walked in and be just present for Angel and respond to whatever information or communication there was between Angel and myself. You can do the same thing. And it doesn't need to be just an animal that you approach that with. It's with any living, breathing being that you wish to use energy work to help. The same rules apply. If you have no training and you have an animal at home, you can do very simple things. I mean, I used to teach kids this all the time. I homeschooled my boys, and when we go on large outings and things and we'd be waiting for something, they'd get restless and that. So I would get the kids to put their hands together, palms facing each other, and just rub their hands together. You can do this now if you want, as you're listening, and just rub them together. And if those on the recording are hearing something, that's because I'm rubbing my hands together. And they'll warm up. You'll feel maybe some kind of tingle or something like that. Just pull them apart just a little bit. So you've got a couple of inches between them, and you can kind of round them a little bit. Pretend you're making like an invisible energy snowball. So you've picked up some snow and you're just going to pack it together, and you're going to move your hands around as if you're packing a snowball. And as you're doing that, the feeling between the palms of your hands is very likely changing. And you'll feel it more and more. And the more you practice this, the easier it gets. So if you're not feeling anything and it's your first time, don't worry about it. Try it again. But it will start to feel denser, like you're really packing that snowball. And then if you just kind of pause and you just pulse your hands in and out from each other, you will feel like you have a magnet, like two North Poles, and it's kind of repelling a little bit. So you've just activated the energy that's naturally in your body, in your energy fields that's around you. And now, when you have that, you can just place your hands. You can place them on your own body right now on an area that may be a little bit uncomfortable or sore. Just let them rest there. See what happens. You can do that with your pets, your children. When we bump ourselves, you fall and you bump, or if you have children or grandchildren and they've fallen, and what do we instinctively do? We touch the area that we've just hurt. Or your parents will say, oh, here, let's just give it a little rub. And as we do that, we increase circulation, we increase the blood flow, and we actually start the body to recognize this area and to heal it. It's the same idea. So my hands naturally are in that state all the time, just with working with energy work for almost 30 years. I was at the market on Saturday. A friend of mine was there. He's got I don't know what he is, but he's big and he's strong and he's all muscular. He's not a Rottweiler, more bulldog, boxer, I don't know, type of build, but powerful, strong dog. And he came over to see me, and instinctively, I know really easily where an animal has some area of discomfort in its bodies, and my hands just kind of go there, and they did for him too. And I just put my hands there, and then I just gently moved my hands. Well, this dog just went into relax mode, and I don't know what he weighs, but it's got to be 90 plus pounds. And he's just leaning into me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to fall over, because he got so relaxed. Like that energy felt so good to him. And his owner just looked at me like, what's going on? And I said, it's okay. But in order for him to not knock me over, like not intentionally, I needed to lift my hands and stop what I was doing. And this beautiful guy, he just turns and he looks at me and he's like, the eyes contact was, you stopped. Like, why did you stop? So you can become this wonderful agent of healing and helping them if you want to. It's very simple to do. But, only do this for animals you know and you have permission to do this for. I mean, I know my friend and his dog, and so it was fine. But it's that simple. And with my understanding of that, it made it that easy for me to be in that space with Angel. I would just sit on the floor by Angel, and I would just run my hands from the top of his head down through his back, along his legs, and I would be able to just pick up the warm spots or the hot spots of where there was discomfort in his body. Sometimes I'd pick up a cold spot, which had some slightly different information for me as well. And then with Angel's permission, I could put my hands directly on him. Some days he wouldn't want me to. Some days they had to be above. Some days I needed to sit 4 or 5 feet away from him and just send the energy towards him. I would know all of this by being present and watching him. After a few weeks of going in, I became very tuned in to the energy as soon as I walked in the house, and I would know if he had had a better day or not so great a day. And the gentleness and the ease of the energies that I needed to work with for him, or whether he was able to receive a little bit more. And he would look at me. He would turn his head, or if he was lying down, he'd just kind of lift his head and open his eyes and communicate with me like that as well. And it was very easy to understand what this animal required. Never pushing the energy forward. And then we've got the cat. The cat was not so sure about me coming into the house, even though it knew me. Didn't know me as well because I wasn't patting it or playing with it or really paying any attention to it when I was in the house because of the allergies. So as Angel became more and more sick, because he did for a bit before we kind of were able to help him rally, the cat took on more and more dog characteristics. And so when you walked into the home, there were a few steps up, and the cat would be at the top of the steps when you opened the front door, and it would puff itself up, and it, the silly little thing, tried so hard to learn how to bark, because now the cat was responsible for taking care of the home, taking care of the dog, and being the gatekeeper as to who was going to be allowed to come into the house and who was not. So it was pretty funny. So I then needed to learn to communicate to the cat, acknowledge his role. I never put him down for it. I never said, stop that, don't be silly. I thanked him for what he was doing. I acknowledged the role the cat was taking on in protecting the home and his best buddy, Angel. The more I did that and acknowledged his presence, then he stopped, and it was okay. And then the more he would start to get closer and closer to me. He always sat and stared at me and stared at Angel and watched what was going on. Very protective. I do believe if I had caused pain for Angel or Angel let out any sound of distress, that the cat would have responded. Would it have bit me? I'm not going to say it wouldn't. I'm not sure. It's possible, because he was growing more and more into protector mode the more he realized how unwell the dog was. Beautiful communication between the two of them. As you're working with these animals, or any animals, be aware of the environment around you. If there's another animal, watch them. They will tell you so much. Tap into your guides. You know, from last week's show, practice some of the things that I was telling you. The space, the energy that you are in, and then connecting to. You can invite in animal spirit guides. You can ask your guides if they have the ability to assist you in working with the animal that you are choosing to work with, right? There's so much there for you. Call in the assistance if you would like to, right? Give the command to assist you, and then be open to receive the information that is there. Energy follows your intention. This is why I'm saying to you, being really aware of your agendas, being very aware of your thought process is very important. Being non-judgmental, being that space of just acceptance of what is there with you in that moment, and not acceptance from the perspective of it's good, it's bad. Just be present with it. It's really key. Where you put your focus is where the energy is going to go. I allow my hands to lead the way, not my thought patterns. If I run into a time or a moment where I'm unsure what to do next, I ask a question. I'll ask my guides, or I'll ask, and in this case, I often asked Angel to show me where he would like my hands to be next. Start from the beginning again. You can just scan the body and feel where there's those warm spots that your hands could be placed. Or you can ask for an intuitive information to be told or shown through pictures where you would like your hands placed. Now, I would also speak to Angel through pictures because at that time I did understand that way of communicating with dogs. And in my mind's imagination, I would see myself putting my hands on his body just before I did so that he knew that I was about to touch him. Now, he also would have known because he would feel my hands coming closer, even though I had not actually touched him. But I felt that was, well, it was twofold, actually, when I'm thinking now. It was part of it was courtesy, politeness, a kindness to Angel to let him know what I was doing. And it also helped me in reassuring that I was communicating with him and that I was taking steps that were going to be accepted, that were okay. It was a confidence boost. That's probably the best way to put it. It helped my own level of confidence. The key for this is being present with yourself and trusting you and trusting the animal. On that note, we're going to go for our break. I'm running a little bit over here today. So we're going to go for our second break. I'm not going to chat too much more. When we get back, I'm going to let you know. They're saying, wait, I'll just tell you more about it when you come back. All right. Don't go away, everybody. We'll be back shortly after these few commercials for you. Thank you.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everybody. So, if the idea of working with an animal, doing energy work with an animal is something that really interests you, but you're not quite confident maybe to approach it how I've suggested, just rub your hands together, move them around on the body, just be there. There are some courses that are really, really great. And one of the Angel courses that I have taken, I have my master's level in it. It's integrated energy therapy, They have a whole section of where you can actually, or classes where you can learn how to work on dogs and horses and apply the techniques to dogs and horses, bringing in the 9 different healing angels that are part of integrated energy therapy. You can also take the course for doing it for people as well. So if your confidence isn't quite there for just giving it a go on your own and you feel like structure or learning like that would be better, then let me know. They are classes I teach as well. It can be a little rough on my allergies because it's best to have the animals there, but that's okay. They're very cool. So there's lots of different ways you can do it. Plus you can hire people. You can, hire a healer to work with your animals as well. It can be done by distance. It can be done in person. I'm currently working on a dog right now by distance in another city that's, almost 2 hours away from me. And so that works also. Energy work has so many ways of going about it and applying it. It's really your imagination will be your only limitation as to how you can work with energy and help others or help animals. It's up to you. What would you love to choose? So so there's this other way if you would like more structure with it. Now, as I was working with Angel and he started to feel better, took a couple of weeks, but then we started to see progress in him. His behavior was starting to change. You could see he was happier. The look in his eyes was changing. That little sparkle, that light in his eyes was coming back to him. And what was really fun was the cat. The cat changed more. The cat became more playful. The cat wanted energy work as well, which, yeah, I had my antihistamines, but I wasn't too thrilled with having him literally, like actually sitting on my lap. He would sit between me and Angel, and he would be soaking up the energy, and he would want to be playing with me. And I had learned that he was more playful with Angel and with their owner as well. So he was also a guidepost for me as to how Angel was feeling. On a day when Angel wasn't maybe doing quite as well, the cat was more subdued. But once he got used to sitting on my lap and receiving the energy and trusting me, then he was there regardless. And that was his spot to be in. If I needed to do distance with Angel, if I wasn't going to sit right there on the floor with him, then the cat would still come and sit on me and be in that flow of energy as it was going to Angel. Being aware, right? Not shooing the cat go away, being in that space of openness and receptive to what I'm seeing and feeling, and, intuitively allowing myself to be a part of. We became a triangle of energy, the 3 of us. Everything I did with one, the other received. And that was fine. That was great. It was brought about based on the behavior and desires of these 2 animals and my willingness to be there. So as Angel improved, our sessions changed. He was able to get up and move around more. He was playing. He could go for walks like he couldn't do before. He was also able to go back to aqua therapy. I don't remember where it is now. I feel like it was, it doesn't matter, but there was this place that had a therapeutic pool that the dog could go into and walk. It was shallow, and build his muscles up and get some relief being in the warm water. That therapy could come back because of the decrease in pain he was feeling. Now, were the tumors shrinking? No. Were the tumors pausing? Yes. And as a result, the pressure around the muscles and everything that they were on were feeling better as well. And then I was able to put in place for the areas where the tumors were. This may sound weird, but it was like giving more space, opening up a bit of space so that the pressure of the tumor was not causing as much discomfort for the animal. Take it how you want, but that's what I saw happening, and we witnessed it in the changes in Angel. Now, and in the cat. The cat started bringing toys and wanting to play and putting them in front of Angel. Sometimes Angel would move them and do something. It was really fun. When I wasn't there, though, he was more active and more willing to participate and enjoy the remaining time he had left. What this did for my friend is beyond measure. Beyond measure. The joy of having more time with him was heartwarming. The look in her eyes when she would give me reports and tell me what had been going on was so heartwarming for me. And all through this, in all honesty, it's building my confidence more and more. The gift that Angel gave me for trusting my abilities to work with energy is huge. Things I started to do after that really took off. I became more confident, yes, but also I talked about what I did a little bit more. I told people about this. I mean, my friend was telling everybody that I was working on Angel. I was not in a place to be really comfortable receiving that, to work with many more animals, but that's okay. That's where I was at. But this ability to have that mind shift, to move out of all of that doubt and all of those judgments and stories I had given myself that I'd bought into, primarily on my experience as well with my own dog, they were able to move. Recognizing what your doubts are, like hearing them, like don't let them be just on autopilot. Slow it down, hear what your thoughts are, and seeing what they're telling you is really important if you wish to change them. Moving out of doubt and into this place of more self-confidence and inner confidence within myself is a gift that keeps on giving to me to this day. It's part of why I do the work I do with people. I'm not looking to change confidence and doubts in that in the animal world. They don't need it. Okay, the ones that are suffering with anxiety and a few things like that as a result of their environments, yes, okay. But to be honest, you work with the two-legged person. You don't worry about the three or four-legged one. You work with the one with the two legs that's there, and the one that is, in theory, in control of the situations, the one that is guiding and leading. Because if you don't be the person that guides and leads, that's the role I had to take with Angel, then the animal is going to take that role, which is what the cat was trying to do, right? He was taking over. He was going to be the leader in that house. And so it was important that he understood where I was coming from. Now, cute and kind of silly looking, sure, but his intention, honorable and important. If you are suffering with doubt, if it is part of your day-to-day, or you recognize that your confidence is low in any area of your life, then reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. I have a wonderful 4-month program, and it's called Mind Shift Journey. Shift from self-doubt into inner confidence. And you will be different at the end of those 4 months. You will notice a difference. I guarantee it. I do. I guarantee it. So if you want that conversation, get in touch with me. Send me an email, Karen@KarenLeslie.ca, or through the different social media platforms. You can find me there. You can send me a direct message as well. and we can have a conversation about moving you into greater inner confidence and what that will give you in your life. I mean, look for me. Had I not had the gift of Angel and this cute little cat at the time that I did, then the courses that followed subsequently afterwards could well have been delayed because I may have questioned whether I was ready for them or not, because they were definitely a big step forward. You have information all around you, and it's all data. It's just information. Remember, everything is meaningless until you give it meaning. So check in. What is the meaning you're giving to it? I could have given the opportunity to work with Angel a very different meaning than the one I chose, and that would have been fine. But I am so grateful that I made the choice I did, especially seeing what it has done and where it has brought me to today, all these years later. We're going to go to our break. When we come back, I have more to share. So don't go away. We'll wrap up everything around Angel and this kitty cat and bring it to a place where hopefully it will empower you to look at things that maybe you've been shying away from, that maybe you're going to take a look at from a slightly different perspective. And I wonder what that could open up for you. All right, this break is really short, everyone. Don't go away. We'll be back just in a couple of minutes. All right, thank you.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right, to wrap all of this up, did Angel pass away? Yes, he did. And, if you remember, if you've been here for the whole show, that was never going to be a question. What was the hopeful goal was to have Angel be more comfortable. What also happened, yes, Angel was more comfortable. You know that now. But Angel's life expectancy also expanded. We doubled it. So he had 6 months. And vast majority of all of those weeks were great. And at the end, when it was time for Angel to pass, it was quick. It was loving. It was exactly what his owner wished for. And we're going to assume what Angel wanted as well. Now, did this poor little cat go into mourning? Absolutely. But he had such a ride and such an experience as well with me being in that home. And when I saw him, we had a brand new relationship from that point on. This whole process, right, was the goal was to make Angel more comfortable. The goal was not to make the tumors go away. Would that have been possible? I don't know. But from my perspective, where I was at in my journey and what I was doing, I didn't believe I could, which would mean that I most likely wouldn't have been able to. I also was not asked to do that. I was asked to make the end of life for this amazing Rottweiler one that was more comfortable, one that could bring joy still into his days. And that was achieved. the extended time together and the extended time that I spent with him, as I said, have been a lifelong gift. And his owner, actually, after his passing, bought as a gift for us 2 oil lamps. And I put them out every winter. They're amazing at warming up a space, and to have the 2 of them, like, it really makes a massive difference. They're pretty, they're special, and I thank Angel for them every single fall when I bring them back out, or closer to winter. And I thank Angel for them every time they're cleaned and put away for the warmer months, knowing that I'll have them again to bring out, to remember him by. When I turn on the light, it reminds me of the light within Angel, the light within me to help others, and the light of energy work and being kindness and compassion brings to the world. I've got a question here in the chat. Was he meant to give that gift to you? Was that part of his purpose? I get an overwhelming yes. Absolutely. Animals have all different gifts that they give to different people at different times during their lives, and they can still gift you once they've passed. You can still connect with them just as you can, a parent or a friend or somebody else. They are still here if you wish to connect to them. I know my friend still connects to Angel. One of my sons took beautiful pictures of Angel when he was rallying back a little bit and gifted those pictures to her that she has as well. They're gorgeous pictures. So when you are hesitating to do something, really look at what the reason is. And you can say no, and another opportunity can come along. I could have said no to Angel, and perhaps another beautiful animal would have come forward, and then I might have said yes at that time to help them. But the one thing that is key is learning to find the ability to trust you. When you trust yourself, then that animal is going to be able to trust you even more. The animal's not going to feel they have to take control or be responsible for the situation. They can actually relax and naturally and innately be who they are. What a gift. Your animal doesn't have to be sick. Healthy, wonderful, vibrant. They still want you to be the leader of the pack. And if you choose not to be, they will be. So find that trust within yourself. Do what you need to do to be that leader. And the more you do it, you'll get more evidence as to its success. As Angel would improve, I would feel better and more confident. I would show up differently. Was that part of extending the lifespan? Probably. Yeah, I get a yes, very much so. This two-way communication, you can't break it. It's there. It's energy work. So what gift can you be to yourself and to any animals that are maybe in your home by moving through your doubts and moving into trusting and knowing you? Right, we're running out of time rapidly here. Next week's show is called Calling on Spirit During Phases and Cycles. I absolutely called on Spirit during the different phases and cycles of working with Angel and this cat. There's skills and techniques that you can hear about and understand why it's a great thing to do when we get together next week. So in the meantime, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening and receiving as I share the story about Angel. Whoa, I'm getting emotional. That's okay. I will see you all next week. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for listening to Cultivating Kindness with Karen. Karen Leslie returns Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can find Karen at KarenLeslie.ca and follow her on social media. Until next Wednesday, Karen is sending you waves of kindness for a fabulous week. Remember, it's only you who has the power to be and receive the kindness required to change your life.